Today you're going to learn about accidentals. Accidentals are the symbols that affect the pitch of a note. They include sharps, double sharps, flats, double flats, and naturals. This is a sharp. A sharp raises a note by a half step. This is a flat. A flat lowers a note by a half step. This is a double sharp. A double sharp raises a note by two half steps, which is also known as a whole step. This is a double flat. A double flat lowers a note by two half steps, which is also known as a whole step. And this is a natural. A natural undoes all the other accidentals and kind of resets the note. And all notes are natural by default, unless there are sharps or flats in the key signature. So when I say by default, I mean when there is no accidental in the measure and there is no accidental in the key signature, the note is considered natural. Accidentals in the measure will remain in effect until the next bar line, so until here. So let me show you what I mean. Here's a bunch of notes. So we're starting off with a C sharp. This sharp will affect all of the notes that are in the exact same space as this C. So it affects this one, and this one, and this one, without us having to write a sharp next to every single one, because these are all exactly the same note in the same space. This saves space on the page and it saves ink, and it just makes the page look a lot less crazy. So that is the rule for any accidental. If this was a flat, then all of these would be flatted. If this was a double sharp, all of these would be double sharped, and you get the idea. So until you get to the bar line, then it goes back to what it was before. So it goes back to just being a C. Then if we want to sharp it again, we'd have to write a sharp. And I did already mention this. Accidentals in the measure, such as this one, which is not a part of any key signature over here, but it's just hanging out in the measure, it only affects that same note. So if you had a C on the two ledger lines above here, this C sharp would not affect any other C. And this C sharp here does not affect this note because this is not the same note as that one is. Okay, last slide. Here's how all the accidentals relate to one another. So in the middle we have kind of our default state of being, which is the natural. A half step up from a natural is a sharp. A half step up from a sharp is a double sharp. And then going the opposite direction, a half step down from a natural is a flat, and a half step down from a flat is a double flat. So now I'm going to show you how you're going to use accidentals to do various different things. So undoing a sharp. If we have a sharp in the measure, like we do here on the C sharp, if we want to undo the sharp in the same measure, we have to use a natural. Because again, this sharp will affect all of those same notes in the same measure. So to undo a sharp, we have to use a natural, or we have to wait until the bar line. To raise a sharp one more half step, here's our G sharp. To raise it up one more half step, we can look over here. What's above a sharp on our little chart here? A double sharp. So to raise a note that is already sharped, we would use a double sharp. To lower a flat one more half step, we would use a double flat. So we have a C flat here. If we wanted to lower that again another half step, we'd use a double flat. To undo a flat is the same thing as undoing a sharp. We need to use a natural. That'll reset it. To raise a flat by a half step, here's our flat. To raise it up, we just go to whatever's above that, and that's a natural. So if we wanted to raise up this B flat one half step, we would put a natural next to our note. If we wanted to lower a sharp by a half step, here's our sharp. To lower our sharp a half step, we go to the next one down, which is a natural. So we would draw a natural.